Well, it seems like it's been a couple weeks since I've done anything on the guitar, since getting the back braced and the braces shaped up. Uh, what's taken me a while is the next thing I've got to do is, this is the top here. We've got to put a rosette on the top, and I've got to get that procedure all set to go. The top here, it's been jointed, and actually I've just put today I put a wash coat of shellac on it just to seal the top. And I've been doing that to a bunch of the fixtures and jigs that I've got. Did this board over here, which is going to be it's going to be my flat sanding board. And this is some MDF I just cut out for rosetting the top. I'll show you that in a second. And then I got the jig over here that I use for my sanding, so I give that a wash coat of shellac too. It's like there's a lot of things I got to do before I can even keep going with the process. So the next major thing is I got this Rosette cutter for my drill press, and that board over there that I just showed you is going to be mounted here, and that's what's going to hold the top. We'll clamp that to it, and this holder here is like almost like a flywheel cutter. We can put different blades in it. We can use that to cut out the rosette. So I gotta read the directions here and figure out how to get this set up. Alright, this is the MDF board that I made for the drill press in order to set up this rosette cutter. And I put a center line down the board, and I cut the board just a little wider than typical tops. The one thing about this drill press is I don't have a lot of room here. I'm going to have to cut the board almost perfect off the top in order to have enough space to drill the rosette here. But I do have enough room. I checked the template, and I probably got about 1/4 of an inch play or so. So what it's telling me, I got to drill a 3/8 inch hole. I've got a brad point drill on here, 3/8 inch, and they send a bushing here, and then they tell you to countersink it a 1/2 inch. And I think I'll do that after I drill the hole. But before I even do that, I've got the center line perfect with the drill, just got it temporarily clamped here. So I'm going to come through the lower drill press plate, and then put a couple screws in here so that I can mount this and get approximately in this position. So I think I'm just going to go underneath and mark it on the board here. And, I think I'll do three places. That's approximate because I've got quite a bit of play on the bottom. Okay, so I made 3 marks, and I'm going to drill these out and put some hardware in with some washers and stuff so that I can mount this to the drill press table here. Alright, here's the back of the panel that the top's going to rest on, with my marks that I made underneath the drill press. And I've got some hardware here. These are just some screws and like plastic nuts here that I'm going to use, and I'll countersink the top of the bolt into that, and that'll allow me to secure it to the table. Okay, drilled the holes and I countersunk them a little bit. So hopefully I took them down enough that the bolt head, those are locking washers, but the bolt head will be below the plane of the board here. I think it will be. We'll see. I'll tighten them up. Okay, that worked out good. Came up, get those nuts on the back, a couple washers in there, and it's a nice solid board. Right now the drill is coming right down on the center line. And if I take my template, this hole here would be the center of the rosette. So it's like it's right in the heart of it. And so I'm going to have to cut the top on that piece of wood exactly perfect with the top of the template because I have no leeway on this at all. Unless I guess, well, I don't think I get any room to mount this board the other way. We're going to have to go this way. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the bushing that the registration pin on this flywheel is going to ride into, and they're recommending that countersink it about 1/2 inch to match the top. So I've got a 1/2 inch Fosner bit on here. There, that's flush. And then 3/8 inch hole for the bushing. So we'll go right through with the 3/8. All right, well this is a great tool, and I can see that you can repeat the rosette process quite a bit after you get this thing set up, and it took a lot to get this set up. I made some test cuts on some wood that I've got. Right now I've got the cutters in here. You can see them on the right hand side of the wheel to cut the first channel off the hole, and then the wider 1/4 inch rosette, and then we'll have to take it apart and do the third channel for the small part. But it was really critical just getting the board completely level. It took quite a bit. I think I finally got it level here using this gauge. So because of the few test pieces that I did, I was taking out more on one side of the test piece than the other. But I loosened up the table underneath. There's an 18mm nut, and just used like a small rubber mallet and just kept kind of going back and forth till I got it completely parallel. Alright, well, here we go. See what happens. Alright, just to get started, this is good because it does look like it's hitting everything pretty even. I put the inner ring, the material, this stuff is actually a little thicker than the Rosette, so I made the inside cutter a little deeper. They tell you to set up the stop on the drill press so you can go to the proper depth, but I found it was actually on the test piece, it was actually a little easier doing it by eye. So I'm going to really watch that inside channel, make sure I don't go too deep, because obviously I don't want to go through the whole board. See how we're doing here. I think we still can go some more on that inner ring, and I haven't come anywhere near close on the main Rosette. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's right in line with top. And I knew this was going to be a little proud, but I don't mind because I can scrape this material down. But that channel is quite a bit deeper than the Rosette. But as I say, this is thicker than the Rosette. So what I'll do now, I'll take this out, and we've got to put the third channel in, which is the same cutter as the first one here. What I'm going to have to do is, I got this from LMI. It comes with 4 cutters, 2 of the bigger ones and 2 of the smaller. I'm going to have to, and since to make a 1/4-inch channel, you have to use one of the large cutters and one of the small ones. So I'm going to have to buy one more of the small cutters, and then I can set this thing up to do this Rosette pattern all in one pass, and I won't have to keep taking it apart, because like this small cutter and this large cutter, they're next to one another. That was a real pain in the butt to get them both exactly the same distance down, because they cut the one channel, you know, at the same time. But it took a while, but I did do it. So now all we have to do is cut this third channel here with this cutter on the end. Alright, I don't know if the camera was going or not when I was doing this. I thought it was recording. I've got it all in. I used Titebond glue, and I just pressed it down with this piece of wood here just to make sure it was as flush with the top as I could get it. The two rings, the inner and the outer ring, are pretty proud, but they're thick. They're like 0.060 wide, and I think next time I'll do it, I'll try and get a little bit thinner material or sand it before I put it in here. But we'll let this dry and I can scrape those down. I think I'm just going to put these on top and maybe clamp them or something, and just to give a little downward pressure. The problem is I have no pressure on the middle ring because those two outside, the outside and the inside ring, are so high. But I think I'm okay because it does look like I'm down pretty well. I think we've got it pretty good. So I don't know if I was recording. If I wasn't recording, I'm sorry. If I was, then you saw me put these in. Basically, I just squirted the glue around and pushed them in. Worked as fast as I could, but I'm using Titebond, so I get a little bit of working time, but it's amazing how fast it does start to set up on you. So it's just got to dry.